Hey guys! So, we just read a story about planning and building a building. Can you think of any important buildings in our neighborhood? I mean, we already talked about the most important building, which is your home. But there are plenty of other important buildings out there in the neighborhood. There's a hospital, there's a school, there's the firehouse where the fireman is, the police station where the police officers work, and there's restaurants and there's supermarkets. There's so many important buildings out there in our community. So, what I want to do is build our own buildings. But in order to do that, like the characters in our book, we have to make a plan. And one of the most important parts of a plan is measuring. My dad always said you gotta measure twice so you can cut once. That way you don't make as many mistakes. So what I have here is called a measuring tape. My measuring tape is like a ruler, except it rolls back up into this little container. So instead of just one ruler, I have a whole lot of tape that I can measure really, really long. So we'll use my measuring tape. If you don't have measuring tape, ask mommy or daddy for a ruler, or they could even, in my lesson plan that I sent them, I'm going to include a ruler that they could just print out, okay? But ask them for a ruler or a measuring tape and you can measure with me as well. So I think one of the most important buildings in the community is a hospital, especially right now. So I'm going to build a hospital, but you can build whatever building you want. I'm just going to show you how to measure and cut and put it together, and you let me know what building you make. But I'm going to make a hospital. So I'm going to start with my white piece of paper, and I want to put it onto this bag. But what's bigger, my paper or the bag? The paper. It's not going to fit on my bag. So that's why I'm going to measure a square. And we'll see how big a square I need. So let's see how wide my bag is. My bag is about 5 inches wide. So if I want to make a square that'll fit perfectly onto my bag, I need a square that's going to be 5 inches wide and 5 inches long. So I'll take the bag away and I'm going to measure from the top of the paper and I'll mark it right at the, I'll mark it right at the 5. And then along that same line, I will measure and mark it at the 5 as well. So now I'm going to cut from this dot until I get to the other dot. And then I'll stop because that's what I measured. And now I'll cut up to the other dot. And that should be a square that fits perfectly onto my bag. You see what we can do when we measure? Now that will be the main part of my building. But we talked about what buildings need and what goes on the top of my building. The roof. So I think what I will do is I will make a nice red roof for my hospital. Now we already know that my bag is 5 inches wide, but I need to figure out how much room I have up going this way so I don't make too much of a roof and get off of my bag. So first, we'll measure that same 5 inches that we did before. And that'll be the width of our triangle. So I'll mark it right at the 5 like I did before. Now remember, your bags might be a different size than mine, but this is the bag that I have, so I have to use 5 inches. So that'll be the width of my triangle. And now I have to figure out how much room I'll have from the top of my building to the top of the bag. So let's see what I have. Well, look, I have to cut 5 inches again. And that'll make a perfect roof for my building. So I'll find the middle of my triangle and I will measure up 5 inches. And now I found the top of my triangle. So now I can cut from the corner and from this dot in this corner up to this dot, and it should make a pretty straight triangle that'll fit perfectly onto my bag. Now, how do we know that I made a triangle? How many sides does it have? It has 1, 2, 3. And I also made a square. How do I know that I made a square? It has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So now I think we'll start building our building and putting it onto our bag. So I will start from the top with my roof. And I will put some glue onto my triangle. What happens when you run out of glue? You just twist it. I'll just place my triangle from the top and we'll see if it fits. Looks like it fits pretty well. And now I need to put the main part of my building. And we'll put the building lined up properly with the roof. You know, if you squint at it, it looks a little bit like Santa Claus. So one more thing that I think that will add to our building is I think we need some windows. So we can even measure that too. If I take my ruler and I bring it across the bottom, we could make each one of our windows 1 inch long. And the easy way to do that would just be to mark it right by each one of the numbers, and then we can have a window that's 1 inch long. So I'm actually going to use my chalk so I can see it a little bit better. Okay. And now you see how I marked the spaces for my windows. What I'll do is I'm going to cut straight across. And then the reason why I put my lines is so I can cut on the lines, and each one of my windows will be about the same size. Let's count to see how many windows I got. I'll count them on the white paper so we can see it a little bit better. But I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll glue those down. So I have 7 windows on my hospital. Now, the last thing that we'll do is we need people to know that this is a hospital. So there's one thing that you'll usually see, that way you know that it's a hospital. You'll see a cross on the top of the building, or you'll see the letter H. So we can do both of those. So you might see something that looks like this. It looks like a cross. It looks like a plus sign. Or you might see the letter H, because the word hospital starts with H. So there you go. This is my hospital. And now we made our plan. We put all our pieces in order. And now we're going to build our hospital to completion. And if you guys have a paper bag, I hope you do, this is what's going to happen. And now my hospital is standing up. See, my hospital is standing up because I blew air into the bag. And now my hospital stands up all by itself. All right. So guys, if you have a chance to do this activity, please, please, please send me whatever building that you made. I made a hospital, but I would love it if you guys did something different, like a firehouse or a supermarket or a restaurant, or any building that you think is exciting or important or what have you. All right? I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will send you guys a new video soon. All right, bye-bye.